Hi, it's Leslie from Trips with Tykes coming your way with another 2-minute toddler travel tip. Today we're talking about airport security with toddlers. You've probably seen the news. The lines in airports across the country are expected to be as bad as ever this summer. The TSA is understaffed, and chances are pretty good that you're going to be waiting in line. That stinks pretty badly if you're flying by yourself, but it could be really terrible if you're flying with an antsy toddler. So, here are my best tips for avoiding that. Tip number one, use the TSA Family Lanes. I'm always really surprised that many families haven't heard about these. These are special dedicated lines. They're in pretty much every US airport of any size. The lines are much shorter. Family travelers can use them almost universally. There's a few exceptions, like Atlanta, where you need to have a stroller to use it. But the lines are so much shorter. Sometimes they're even shorter than the TSA pre-check lines. You've probably heard that's a great way to cut a lot of lines, and I agree, but sometimes families even have it better than TSA pre-check folks. Tip number two, have a stroller strategy. Depending upon how old your toddler is and where you're going, chances are pretty good you will still be bringing a stroller along. So bring the right one. I recommend a compact, nimble umbrella stroller. It's much easier to gate check and deal with when balancing a toddler on your hip and a bunch of bags. And when you're heading through airport security, leave the toddler in the stroller for as long as possible. Put everything, all of your bags and belongings on the belt, and only once your hands are free should you get the toddler out. That's the easiest way to avoid having a toddler escape artist get away from you. Final tip, tip number three, know your airport. Some airports are notorious for extremely long TSA lines. Denver, Orlando, Atlanta, Chicago Midway. These have all been in the news the last couple of weeks for lines sometimes as long as 2 or 3 hours long. You want to avoid these airports at all costs, especially if you're traveling with a toddler. So look for alternative airports. Even my home airport of SFO can sometimes have long security lines. I try instead to fly out of Oakland when I can. Of course, sometimes you can't avoid these problem airports, so arrive early, be prepared, look for whatever shortcuts you can use, like the TSA Family Lane. And I hope you have safe summer travels with short TSA lines. Come back next Tuesday for another 2-minute toddler travel tip.